Hey everyone, it's World Film Geek here, and I interviewed Maureen Bharoocha. She is a director whose latest film, Golden Arm, comes out today. Enjoy the interview.
Maureen, how you doing? Good, thank you. Oh my God, I just watched Golden Arm this morning, and I gotta say, it was
Oh,
funny.
great.
It was funny. It was great, and I loved it. I loved the movie altogether. It was had such funny performances, a great underdog story. I absolutely loved it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
So my first question is, what attracted you to direct Golden Arm?
I mean, so I kind of came on the project 5 years ago when the writers Anne-Marie Allison and Jenna Milley were kind of starting their script. They came to me and asked me if I would do a sizzle for them so that they could kind of take that out with the script and get financing. So when they told me about the idea, I was like, I'm in. Like underground female arm wrestling competitions that are actually real things. Yeah, yeah, let's
Hmm.
do it.
That's awesome. And
So, so just the premise alone.
yeah, exactly. And that's something you rarely see about arm wrestling. The last time anything was prominent about arm wrestling, we gotta go back like 30, almost 35 years ago when Sylvester Stallone did Over the Top. When he did it, that,
Exactly.
and then on top of that, we're talking, females in like, what many would think is a male-dominated sport in arm wrestling. I think it's fantastic that they're doing this, even though it's underground, but still, just the fact that they get to show like they're just as strong as men. I think that's awesome.
And also, Dot Jones is a real arm wrestling champion. So that was one of the things that I think really adds authenticity to the movie is that Dot is an incredible, competitor and champion, and a lot of the belts she brought were her own, her jacket. So she really taught us how to arm wrestle. So she's kind of like the arm wrestling queen. So
Yeah,
just having her in the movie alone really made it real.
and I'm glad for that because I gotta tell you, she was not just great as a trainer. She has that comedic spark, and after of course, many will know her from Married with Children, where she was always the strong woman who always gets on Al Bundy's nerves, or always, or I should say, get the best of him because of her strength and all that. So I love that she got to bring some of that realism to the role.
Such a beautiful person. So that's kind of what I really love about the movie is that it's a movie where you get to see women be strong and powerful and feminine and masculine, like what I mean, just like kind of all facets and kind of celebrating whatever iteration that is, it's celebrated. So whether you're small, whether you're big, whether you have big muscles or you don't, like it's kind of about leverage. So it's interesting sport to kind of portray that it's not just about being athletic in a typical sense. There's kinds of different strengths you can have.
That's awesome. And the rest of the cast was great too. I mean, you got Mary Holland as the underdog Melanie. Betsy Sodaro cracked me up as Danny. She, she was like hilarious. She kind of reminded me of like an over the top Kate McKinnon with her role as Danny. I mean, they must have been a blast to work with.
So me, I go way back with Mary and Betsy. We've been friends for a long time and worked on different projects before. So when this movie kind of came my way, I was like, one, Betsy was in the original Sizzle. So she was always somebody that I was like, Betsy would be great for this. And, Mary is such an incredible actress and comedian, and they have actually been improvising together for 10 years. So they kind of have a built-in, friendship and chemistry, and they're just, they're incredible improvisers and just really great actors. And what's great is that both of them, I think, got to do things that they maybe never, like they just haven't done before in other movies. So to me, it was really exciting just to be able to play in a different kind of sandbox with everybody together.
That's awesome. So, how long did shooting take, and what challenges did you face? I know with a lot of indie filmmakers, they tend to have a lot of challenges when it comes to these type of movies. So, how
Yeah.
long did shooting take, and yeah, what did you face during production?
He shot in Oklahoma the summer 2019. So we shot for 20 days. I think just right out the gate, our biggest thing that we had to challenge was the heat. So shooting in the summer in Oklahoma was quite a challenge. And I think one of our scenes we actually ended up bringing inside because the day that we were going to shoot it was we were supposed to shoot on a rooftop, and it ended up being incredibly hot. It was actually Big Sexy's garage. So every kind of little misstep or what we thought at the moment would be a challenge ended up making the movie better because bringing it inside of Big Sexy's kind of garage, we found that garage. I'm like, this has so much production value. It's so cool. So we set that inside. There was another day where we were supposed to shoot our big scene with Kate Flannery, and we were shooting in this bar. And the end of the scene, Mary and Betsy are supposed to go outside and have their final conversation outside, but there was a thunderstorm. So, there's a rule you can't be shooting in a thunderstorm for obvious reasons, and the thunderstorm has to be, so far away before you can even step foot outside, and the thunderstorm wasn't moving. So we ended up pivoting and shooting the scene in a men's bathroom, which, again, made the scene funnier and faster and just kind of more random. So it ended up working out better. And then another big challenge we had, and my big thing was, some of the movie is about them being on the road together in this big rig. And so I just really didn't want to have to shoot green screen. I was just, I knew that if we had to shoot green screen driving, it would just make the movie not feel real, and it would just, I don't know, I think it would ruin the movie. So something that we were trying to figure out on a low budget, we couldn't get stunt drivers, we couldn't get, new projection kinds of car rigs. What we ended up doing was finding out the transpo. How do you transport a big rig that maybe that is broken or flat tire or whatever it is? So we ended up strapping the big rig to another flatbed and pulling that. So we spent one day just and our incredible DP Chris Messina stuck in the cab of the big rig, driving back and forth on the stretch of highway and just having the cameras roll. So that was a big challenge, but in the end, I'm so glad that we did it because I think having them authentically driving in a car really made all the difference.
I totally agree. I mean, if that, like you said, if that had been green screen, I don't think it would have made much of an impact as it would if it was really done. And like I said, overall, the movie really worked here. And I have to say, the one scene that really made me like crack up is right before the final round of the tournament, and Melanie has her arm messed up, and just the reactions from them when Danny sees the damage.
Yes. That's probably my favorite scene of the movie too.
I just kept laughing. I was like just laughing through the whole thing. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was like we didn't see it, but we can just picture it, and it just like I would react the same way. But I just love that they play each other off and still get grossed out at the same time. I think that was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, and that came kind of came organically. Like that was a scene that I added, that I kind of workshopped with Mary and Betsy too before we shot it, and then we kind of came up with like just the gagging and the laughing and the crying and shooting that scene to me when we were shooting it, I felt like it was magic, and it felt like it was like they were Lucy and Ethel. We were these two iconic friends just like having this moment. You've never seen like a moment in movies where women are laughing and crying and gagging all at the same time.
No, I don't think you really see that. I think the closest I saw that was John Cena's Playing with Fire when they were changing a baby's diaper, and both him and Keegan-Michael Key were both like grossed out, and then they tried and they still were getting grossed out, like trying to even talk. And I thought that was just but this was kind of funny. This scene was funnier than that. So I just think because you said it, the emotions mixed in with the gagging just worked. It just totally worked on that part.
One of my favorite all-time scenes in the movie.
So, I mean, overall, Golden Hour is a great film. I'm recommending it to people. It's you guys everyone's got to see this. So, my last question is, with TV and film production coming back now, are there any new projects in the works that you can talk about?
Obviously this year has been such a drought, but I've been very fortunate. I just wrapped 2 episodes of a really cool show on Nickelodeon called Drama Club. Some really incredible kids are in that show and going to be superstars. So I just wrapped doing 2 episodes of that. Me and Mary and Betsy wrote a new movie that we're shopping around right now. It's kind of like a thriller comedy.
Nice.
And then I also just finished up this really cool project. It's called Edith. It's a narrative podcast series for Q Code and Crooked, starring Rosamund Pike. And she plays Edith Wilson. So Woodrow Wilson, the first lady to Woodrow Wilson, in kind of a dark comedy that's going to be coming out soon. That's an 8-episode narrative series. That's really awesome. Cool, and I think people are going to enjoy it.
That's awesome. So Golden Arm is coming out on April 30th. And those who want to see a hilarious comedy within the world of women's professional arm wrestling in an underground setting, but have such hilarious comedy with the 2 leads, are going to want to see this. And Maureen, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about the movie.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.